Thank you all for your patience. Thank you to the community and the activists for standing with the family of Alvin Motley. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Bobby DiCello, Attorney Ken Urbano, Attorney Chris O'Neill, and Memphis' own Attorney Van Turner, the NAACP president. We have the honor of representing the family of Alvin Motley, who sat through the preliminary hearing, which was very emotional, obviously painful for them. I think his sister Tashida left the courtroom several times when they showed certain images. You have Mr. Motley, Miss Motley, Tashida Carr, Dr. Motley, and nieces of Alvin Motley all gathered here. And the one thing, and I will have Mr. Motley say a word or two in just a moment, but the family is very grateful to District Attorney Funk, Assistant DA David Jones, and Assistant DA Ronald Bowdy. They said what this family had been feeling the whole time, that this was not only unnecessary, not only unjustifiable, but it was a heartless killing of a young man who was armed only with a can of beer and a cigarette. And it was so shocking when you watch that video that you have to catch your breath and ask yourself, did you see what you just saw? A man with a can of beer taking a puff of a cigarette is shot in cold blood. It just does not in any way justify him ever being able to see the light of day. When you think about if the roles were reversed, what would we be saying about Alvin Motley Jr.? But here we are in Memphis, and we have to determine if we were to see two justice systems in America, one for Black America and another for white America, or will we finally arrive at getting equal justice for all Americans? Because Alvin Motley was an American citizen, and Alvin Motley life mattered. Before Mr. Motley address you, I wanted to know if any of the other council wanted to say a word or two, because I think Mr. Motley and the family will get the last word. Van, Alvin, you want to say something?
Thank you, Ben. It's an honor to be with the Motley family today. I echo my co-counsel's thoughts that this was a very emotional and very difficult time for the Motley family, and that's where the focus needs to be. It needs to be on them and those who support them. One of the astonishing things that we learned today in the hearing was that the security guard trades on his idea that he's a police officer, and he keeps on trying to align himself with the police. Not a single good police officer would agree with shooting a man for arguing with him or having a conversation with him or approaching him about loud music. And so what we saw today, and I want to echo the idea that he doesn't say anything to the police when he has an opportunity to explain how he was in fear for his life. And so this astounding and terribly difficult moment for this family, wholly unjustified. And we are going to work in every way possible with this family to ensure they get full justice, which they deserve.
Can you say and spell your name, please?
Sure. Robert, or Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y, DiCello, D-I, capital C-E-L-L-O. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney DiCello. We're going to hear from one more member, one of the best young lawyers in America, your NAACP president. I would just note, the first witness said something very profound. She said that this security guard had a bravado to him. I had just ran somebody else off from here. Almost as if he had made a determination he was going to run Alvin Motley off from here too. It just doesn't add up. Loud music. You're at a gas station, you're going to be there for a few minutes, and then you're going to move on. Why kill a man over loud music? President Turner.
Thank you, Attorney Crump, and we stand with the Motley family and seek justice. My name is Van Turner. I'm an attorney and currently president of the Memphis branch of the NAACP. As Attorney Crump has stated, it just doesn't add up. Another witness indicated and testified that Livingston had stated he's killed 4 people before. And he said that statement about 30 seconds before he went and executed and murdered Alvin Motley Jr. So not only was he bragging and had the bravado that he was proud to have run someone else off before he killed Mr. Motley, he told another witness that he had already killed 4 people before. This man has an issue. He's a threat to society. He should have never been out there. He should have never been retained by the security company to be in the role that he was in. He should have never been out there on August 7th. So we will stand with the Motley family and we will make sure justice is carried. It was heart-wrenching to see what we saw today, but we know that at the end of the day, justice is blind and justice will give this family what it deserves, and that's for Mr. Livingston to serve as much time as possible in jail for the crime that he has committed, and for these companies to make sure that this family is compensated for the loss that they've endured. Thank you.
Thank you, President Turner. At this time, you're going to hear from Mr. Alvin Motley Sr. Obviously, this is emotional. This is his only son. He's going to bear his heart as best he can, and you may hear from a few more of his family members. So at this time, Mr. Motley and Ms. Motley, if you come forward.
Yes, after seeing the video and going through,
Step a little closer.
after seeing the video and going through this preliminary, I was heartbroken. I didn't hate the gentleman, but I'm outraged beyond all measure because he shot my son. My son shouldn't have been shot. I mean, he shot my son while on the phone talking to 911, saying he's being aggressive. I mean, you know, and he was just totally lying. My son was walking up towards me. It's unbearable when I'm feeling it, and I want him punished to the fullest extent, in the sense of, as I said earlier, for whatever years I have left on this earth, I want him to be locked away and think about what he did every single day, just like I have to. But what was revealed by witnesses, his show of bravado, fixing his pants and bragging to a person getting gas that he already shot four people previously. I mean, it's like he's a little guy who wants to be a big guy. I mean, he has that attitude of Barney Fife. Thank you. Thank you.
Carl Adams. We'll hear from Carl Adams, a cousin.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Carl Adams. I'm Alvin Jr.'s cousin. First of all, I want to thank the DA's office and everybody on their team, but they did a fantastic job today. We also have to thank Ben Crump and everyone on his team for doing a fantastic job. We think we're on the right road to get justice. This is just the beginning. Any other outcome today would have been an injustice. So his bond was not reduced, and you know, he's still locked up right now. It was a lot of things that came out by seeing the video and hearing the audio, the 911 tape, a lot of inconsistencies, the defendant. Me personally, I think it was a premeditated murder. If he's telling the witness that he killed 4 people already, and then you hear him on the 911 tape tell the operator, when the operator asked him a question, she said, "Are there any weapons involved?" His response was, "Not yet." That means he's about to use his weapon. And there was no weapons involved until he used his weapon. Hopefully, you know, we'll see this through to the end, and we just like to thank everybody, and we'll be here.
Can you spell your name for me?
First name Carl, C-A-R-L, last name Adams, A-D-A-M-S.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. And the last family member, as I understand it, that you'll hear from is Dr. Robert Motley, also a cousin to Alvin, and him and Carl and Alvin all grew up together. Dr. Motley.
All right. Thank you all. As my cousin said, we want to thank everybody, the legal team, Ben Crump, his team, and Funk, everybody for supporting our family, going through these trying times, seeing our cousin, my cousin, and our family member being taken away so unjustifiably by this malicious individual, Mr. Livingston, Gregory Livingston is his name. And so we've really been grieving and having to relive this thing every time we come to Memphis. And you know, myself, I've seen the video over several times, and every time I watch it, it's new evidence coming out to show the lack of humanity that this individual had for my loved one. Just looking at now new evidence showing that not only did he have a gun, he had 3 clips, two knives, and he also had a baton. So he had other means that he could have used before going to lethal force. And so like he loves to brag about being a police officer and being trained as a police officer. Well, where was the de-escalation in an individual approaching you, smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer and talking, for you to just think that you had to shoot him cold blood and kill him without using other approaches? And so as you all start seeing and following the trials, you'll see a lot of the things that we have been privy to seeing, but you'll see that this was very unjustifiable. And to have another police officer here to validate what we already know was unjustifiable was pleasing to me, because we don't see these happening in a lot of cases. So we thank you all for supporting our families, and keep us in your prayers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Motley. Dr. Motley makes a very important point before we take a few of your questions. You know, the whole justification seems to be because Mr. Motley was walking towards him. Well, what was revealed in the video, and we heard the witness testify to it before we all saw the video, was that Livingston walked and approached the car at first. I mean, within 2 feet away, as the witness said. We got to see it with our eyes. And, you know, he didn't have a beer can in his hand. He didn't have a cigarette in his hand. Mr. Motley could have been equally petrified that this man was approaching his car. But he didn't shoot. He didn't do anything. And so all we're saying is give Mr. Motley the consideration that we would be giving Mr. Livingston had the roles been reversed. That's all we're asking for. We'll take your questions.
Can we get a reaction to the defense making Mr. Alvin Motley Jr. to be the aggressor? What's your reaction to that?
Well, certainly, that's always been the playbook, whether you go back to any of these killings of unarmed black people, and the justification, it was a scary black man. It was a dangerous black man. And if they say I felt fear, I felt threatened, normally that carries the day. Thank God there's video. Thank God there's a strong family who's saying we won't let them sweep this under the rug.
Mr. Crump, the defense attorney several times told the judge, you don't have to make a judgment today, right? You don't have to say that today. But the judge actually did. He said we didn't see any justifiable reason for lethal force to be used. Are you encouraged, and do you think that the tenor of this trial has been set with this initial hearing?
Well, the hope is that in America, we all get due process of the law. Oftentimes, we find that marginalized people of color never get their day in court because it's a dispositive issue in police shootings, often, qualified immunity and other things. But in civil, normally they come with self-defense and stand your ground. We are grateful to the court. I know Mr. Motley was very grateful that the judge said the matter is going forward, where they will have their day in court, because Mr. Motley is a very spiritual man, and I've watched him close his eyes during certain parts of the testimony to pray to God, and as he's said the whole time, I just don't understand why he had to shoot my son. And then here Miss Motley talked about he was heartless. He didn't even try to help. He didn't even try to render aid. And so the judge and the DA, the family is very grateful that they are doing for the cause of justice for Alvin Motley what we know they would do if the roles were reversed. We always want to hold the mirror to America's face and say, no, America, we want you to live up to that Declaration of Independence when you say all men are created equally and we all endowed with certain rights. Well, he's an American citizen. He was endowed to every right, and we expect full justice, not partial justice, just because he was a black man.
Where does the matter stand on public release of the video? I know we witnessed it, but where does it stand on everyone getting to see what we saw?
As I understand it, it can be released. The order ended today. Any other questions? Hopefully everyone will see this video. We believe that transparency and truth are the foundation for justice.